Hi guys, Echo Airsoft here again. Just a quick little video today. I'm going to show you how I rattle can things. Basically I rattle can everything that I have. I rattle can my accessories for my rifles. I rattle can my magazines like that, and I also spray paint my rifles. So just adds to the camouflage, I think. So today I'm going to be, usually I do it freehand, but today I'm going to be using stencils. So I bought these stencils off Aliexpress. Comes in two parts. Hopefully that focuses. It comes in a guidance card, and then you have your actual stencils. Bought this for €3 on Aliexpress. So today I'm going to be spraying my replica T1 dot sight that I bought off Aliexpress for €40, and I'm also going to be rattle canning my Fireland holster, replica G17, but for my G17, but I have started it already, as you can see here, some of the digital prints. So just going to do a quick little video about how I rattle can everything. So the first thing you want to do obviously is separate your whatever you want to spray away from. So I have the actual attachment to the holster away from my war belt. So I attach on some of the stencils to save the original colour, which is a slightly darker olive green, and then we're going to spray over the next layer on top of that. So we'll go and do that now. Okay, we're just outside now. We're going to start spray painting the holster first. So I'm going to use my darker colour first, brown. So I'm going to spray that over the entire of the holster, and with the stencils on, it'll cover up the green, and we'll have a green effect then hopefully when we take the stencils off at the end. I'm using tan, green and brown today. I'll give you a look there in a minute. So give them a good shake before. It's probably not ideal, to be honest, of a day to be doing this. In Ireland it's in the middle of December, so you want a day that is not humid, sunny, dry and relatively warm, but this can dry inside the house, so hopefully it'll come out nicely. You want to hold it probably about 20 centimeters away from whatever it is you're spraying. And a tip I learned from my Warhammer priming is if it's a particularly cold day, you can warm the cans under a warm tap for a couple of minutes just to get the proper amount of coverage that you're going to need. So just to show you, this is what we're using today. We have just Halford's primer, cheap and cheerful. I use it for my Warhammer miniatures as well, and then we have Krylon brown. So that's green and khaki from Halford's, and then the Krylon brown. So let's get into it. So we have the holster here, and it's currently in an Amazon box. Normally what I would do is I would put a bin bag out and just level out the bin bag and do it over that, but we had the box here, so I just said why not. It'll protect it from any of the wind that might come, hopefully, as we're able to hear. So you're just going to do short little passes, but with a nice full coverage if you can. I think the atomizer might be going on this. It's not giving the best spray, to be honest. Hopefully the Halford's ones might be a bit better. It's just something like that. You just cover it in a nice coverage. I'll flip it around and I'll do the other side. I'll give this a chance to dry first. Okay, so the paint is nice and dry now, and I've put over the stencils to make sure that the brown paint stays in it. So the next one now is going to be a bit of Halford's green. Hopefully that will, there we go, so a bit of Halford's green. This is going to be the same method, just light little spray about 20 centimeters away from the thing that you're spraying, and we're just going to do a whole coat again. Atomizer's a little bit better on this one. Okay, and on the other side. Okay, so we've got a nice coverage of green there on that. We can now, there's actually just a little bit here at the middle. There we go. We can let that now dry, and we can move on to the last coat, which is going to be a coat of tan. So we got the next set of stencils on, and the green paint is nice and dry. So we're going to have now the predominant colour, which is going to be khaki. It's going to be this Halford's khaki style paint. So that's the one that we're going to do all over the rest, and then we're going to take all of the stencils off, and we'll hopefully have a nice finished product. Alright, and here we go. And we'll hit the other side. Just hit the under. There we go. And that's that. So we've now hit basically everything with all of the base coats, and we're just going to let this dry, and I'll just hit the bottom of it here. So we're just going to let this dry, and we'll come back and we'll take all the stencils off and we'll finish it up then. Right, so I've allowed sufficient time for it to dry and to finish off. I've also peeled off all of the stencils that were on it, so we have a finished product here, and I actually have it on my wall belt. So we have here my molly belt setup, and here the finished product. Hopefully you guys can see that. So stencils came out quite well. Let's just let that focus. Came out nicely. The khaki is a little bit more brighter than I wanted it to be, but it almost looks white on the camera, but it does look a wee bit more stand coloured in real life. I have here my WEG19. So that is basically the long and short, guys, about how I spray paint my things that I run using stencils. That was actually the first time that I used stencils specifically from Aliexpress, so totally recommend the stencil from Aliexpress. It does take a little bit of time to individually peel off, especially a digital pattern, because the pattern is so small. It does take time to individually peel off all the bits to stick them onto whatever it is. So if I was doing a gun, I probably would have went mad, to be honest with you, with the amount of time it took me to do that. I much prefer the stencils, the likes that you would see on Etsy, that are just literally peel off and you stick them straight on. Much better in my opinion, but for the money that you pay for the stencils from Aliexpress, I think it was €3 I paid, and that's delivered to my house. 100% can't be faulted. So just give you one last look, and that's been the video for today, guys. So take care, I'll see you in the next one. If you liked it, like, subscribe and follow for more. Thanks.